Which was
Like
Have you
Beatles.
played the game before?
Like Beatles with an E. You've said the names of the Beatles, you put the photo up there,
Yeah.
and I trusted you.
Yeah. That's what I actually said, was that they met at a picnic.
God knows what a picnic is anymore, but I'll do this.
So Australian picnicking was saved by the introduction of millions of dung beetles. So let's imagine Australian Catholic Street takes off in the 1960s. What is the side effect of a fantastically successful Catholic ministry? Loads of poop. Loads of power.
And it's supposed to be runoff.
Yes. And the runoff.
And that's how they got Fosters.
The native dung beetle, they're used to a little bit of a dry poo, as they're like a kangaroo poo, for example. They don't like the wet dung beetles. And there was a period of time when these cows were producing 200,000 bags per minute. I know.
The poor guy has got to count over just to get that figure.
I mean, Australia's in danger of disappearing entirely underneath a load of shit. And it wasn't vanishing because the dung beetles were not eating it. So there was the Australian Dung Beetle Project. And they imported 173 million beetles. They imported different species. And it was so successful that is now the reason why Australians can enjoy a picnic.
Look at the size of that. They ate that whole thing.
And it just looked nice and dry. What do you say? I'm saying simple.
Yes, what would you say?
I wasn't going to say it because I thought I was going to into my trap. Will the Beatles still picnic at Ozzy's Picnic? And now it's time for the gathering storm of general emails, feels and buzzes, please. Heading off to Italy for a month. Where are you if you're down of fresh? Do you want to try again? Ixa, yes! They don't cool. So they think of it as being in the pool. For them, that would be prison. It's like the English term, in the pool. In the Italian syntax, right, it's called fuori or all'aperto. Now, what liquid can you take 5 times more of through security than Genoa Pepper? Yes!
Pesto?
Yes! Like you're my own boy, I was so proud. How did you know that?
Because he's a vegan!
I didn't know you were vegan. Plus, they have relaxed the ban, but only for pesto, the liquid ban. Passengers can now carry 500 mils of pesto in the hand luggage. It has to be the proper stuff, not the super machine to scan it. Well, I'd say it's the same one. Stamp and they give them an H as the Flying Angels Foundation.
The Flying Asians Foundation?
No,
That's actually how I found out.
The Flying Angels Foundation. It gives free flights for children from developing countries who need medical attention. The change was because so much pesto was being confiscated. They thought, this is ridiculous. We have to stop this. Now, they also had a problem at London City Airport. What was it that was being confiscated in great quantities?
Was it
coffee? No, it's something particularly British. In the same way as pesto, it is Marmite. Absolutely right. They ran a Marmite amnesty in July 2017. And if you took through an oversized Marmite, you could swap it and get a small 70-gram one.
The trouble is that half the security officers would let you through, it's the other half wouldn't.
The American Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, they have an Instagram account which Rolling Stone magazine has named the 4th best in the world. And it's the stuff that they confiscate, and you can look on Instagram. So it's on average 9 firearms a day, the majority of which are loaded. There's been brass knuckles, live eels, a live grenade, a medieval mace.
I don't think I'd confiscate the live grenade. You can have that.
There was a dagger hidden inside a replica of the Eiffel Tower, and a chihuahua that the owner said had sneaked into their bag.
I can believe that.
They are sneaky, aren't they?
Okay, moving on. If you're if you're making a cuppa, does the milk? I know.
Oh, gas! Look at all the gas!
Does it get in first or second? Oh, did I ask you? Okay, not everybody agrees. First or second? First? Some people shouting first? The trouble is that there is no correct answer. That is the point. Yet opinion is so unbelievably strongly held by this part. The British Standards Institution has a 5,000-word report on the correct way to make tea,
Which you are going to read out to us now.
I'm going to praise it for you.
Okay.
That's like when they dramatise the Levinson inquiry or
It
something
is.
like that. It's gonna be like, we're going to do an interpretive dance.
Okay. Here is the definitive thing from them. They say milk should go in first. Oh, I know, it's very upsetting for some people. And they also say you should have 2 grams of tea per 100 ml of water, and it should be brewed for 6 minutes and served at a temperature between 60 and 85. Milk First, a 2003 experiment at Loughborough University, found that adding milk after the water can heat it unevenly, and that leads to the protein in the milk clumping. But Yorkshire tea says milk second, particularly if you're brewing in a mug. Then you should brew the tea first, otherwise the milk will drag down the temperature of the water.
If the tea bag's in the cup, you can't put milk until it's brewed.
That is the
That'd
thing.
be stupid.
Yeah, so the milk has to go in second. But that debate, they're called MIFers, milk in first, and TIFers, tea in first. George Orwell said, by putting the tea in first and stirring as one pours, one can exactly regulate the amount of milk, whereas one is liable to put in too much milk if one doesn't.
He really did write down everything he
Everything.
Must have had a column in the Daily Express or something. What do I do today?
thought. We do a sidebar filler. I've got a thing about tea bags.
After 1984 was like a cage over the head with just someone washing tea being made.
Oh, see, now this always happens at a picnic. But speaking of football, Alan
Yeah.
Romesh,
Yeah.
who is the most successful Arsenal manager of all time?
Is it me?
I want it to be.
No, that's Bertie me. He was one of your most famous ones, wasn't he?
Well, in terms of winning trophies, it's Arsene Wenger.
Not at all, but I'm willing to participate in this conversation.
Okay.
Timothy, George Timothy Strepsils.
It's not George Graham.
Steffi Graf.
Weirdly, Rachel is heading closer to the correct answer than anybody. You know,
Martina Navratilova.
it is women that we are.
Vic Akers.
It is Vic Akers, absolutely right, who founded the Arsenal Ladies Football Club. He managed it till retirement in 2009. Under his management, the ladies' team won 32 major honours, including the FA Women's Cup 10 times, as opposed to Arsene Wenger's management, where the men's team has won 7 FA Cup titles.
Vic Akers is the kit man for the men's team, and he always wears shorts no matter what the weather. So on my podcast, we refer to his genitals as Little Vic and the Akers. He's greatly loved, Vic.
But what a fantastic track record, I mean 32.
Astonishing. It's
Major
worth, I mean, at the
titles.
time, hardly anyone else played women's football. This was
Well, there was a time in the 1920s when there were 150 women's football teams in England, and they could draw bigger crowds than the men's teams. The reason it all fell apart was the FA stopped women playing on Football Association pitches.
This team is Where's Wally FC?
This team was actually the Dick Kerr's ladies team. They were named after the munitions factory where most of them worked. They were the first women's team to ever play in shorts. And my favourite player was a woman called Lily Parr. And apparently she was astonishing, but she was also a chain smoker, and she insisted...
Look at the length of that cigarette.
She insisted part of her wages was in Woodbine cigarettes. And sometimes she was known to play while still smoking.
They completely squashed women's football. They stopped it.
They stopped it.
For
They
about
stopped
70 years. It was
Yeah.
extraordinary.
They
No
weren't
reason-
allowed.
No reason for it at all.
Anyway, the most successful Arsenal manager of all time managed the women's team. So it looks like our luck with the weather has run out. Let's have a quick look at the scores before we are completely rained off. Last tonight, that's Frankie's. Oh dear, there we are. Last tonight with a rather narrow margin. The audience with -20. Getting drenched in fourth place with -19, it's Richard. Slightly soggy with -15, Rachel. And it's moist with -14, Alan. And coming in from the cold with 2 points, it's tonight's winner, Robert. I'd like to thank Rachel, Richard, Ramesh and Alan and leave you with this from American actress Marie Dressler. If ants are such busy workers, how come they find time to go to all the picnics? Good night.